What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the BS podcast. We like that. Barry just came up with that idea about 5 seconds ago, and I already love it. Anyway, before we get started today, don't forget to like, comment, hit the bell, subscribe here and everywhere else at The Savvy Truth, Savannah Lynn, or if you want to follow the horse stuff, you can go to Triumph Horses. Anyway, let's get on to this. Today, we're going to be talking about all the BS going on in the world. Oh, I already love it. I'm sold on the name Barry. But anyway, first things first. Trump is in trial again for what this time? What's happening?
This time, this current one that just happened yesterday, and what they're doing is just the beginning, the voir dire and everything. And he was in trial for, this is the Stormy Daniels issue. This is the alleged hush money that was spent to Stormy Daniels, even though Stormy Daniels has come out multiple times and said that she never even actually had a relationship with him, with an affidavit signed by him. Michael Cohen already admitted that he's a liar. He's the person that apparently the proxy is. This is just 35,000 square foot explanation of what this trial is.
I'm so confused. So the premise of all of this is Stormy Daniels is actively saying, yeah, that never happened. Trump said, yeah, that never happened. I don't know what's going on here.
I bet it
Yet
happened.
we're still going to trial.
He was Trump. He's a billionaire from the 70s, 80s, 90s. She's a porn star from the 90s. I bet that they probably did something. Who knows? It doesn't matter.
I doubt that they would remember if that was the case, because quite frankly, when you're that rich and you hang out with all of the A-list people and you're around the porno people, why do we care?
But that's the thing. I'm sure they hooked up. I'm not saying it's a great thing. I'm sure whatever. I'm sure it was a bad thing.
Honestly, Trump's a smart guy. I really don't know if he did. He's a big game talker about all of that. You know, grab them by that. But I just don't think he's that. I don't think he actually could do it. I don't know if that's possible.
I feel like
for him.
I don't know. I think you're just trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
No, honestly, that could be considered an insult to him. I don't think he could do that.
Do what? Have sex with multiple women?
Pull that? Manage to swing that off?
Pull that? What do you mean? Look at his wife. She's a literal supermodel.
Yeah, that's true.
That's his current wife.
Melania is fabulous. I will give you that.
Daniels, but objectively, I don't think she's that pretty. But like, that's just me.
Ooh, gasp from mom.
Why is that a bad thing?
Wait, do we have a? Oh gosh, what does Stormy Daniels look like in 2024?
Let me pull it up here.
I don't really like to familiar myself with porn stars, so you'll have to forgive me for not knowing what these people look like. I know what Trump looks like. He's like a fuzzy orange peachy looking dude.
She's okay.
She looks like a Walmart Carrie Underwood. Why do we care though? I'm so confused.
My point is, anyway, he has a literal supermodel as a wife.
Yeah, look at that comparison of Stormy Daniels and Melania. Yeah, dude, that's kind of entertaining.
I think Melania is way more attractive, but that's just.
Well, Melania has also got like that Russian model physique, supermodel.
Yeah,
she
European,
will kill you and eat the bear as well kind of vibe going for her.
But anyway, my point is this. So anyway, the whole trial, again, back to the topic, is he allegedly, apparently
paid her hush money.
Paid Michael Cohen. Michael Cohen, apparently, who was the lawyer, paid her to say, don't talk about this. So, or for during the election, you know, for all that stuff, whatever. But all the records, Michael Cohen even said it didn't happen. Then he backtracked and lied, and then everything. But anyway, the whole point is, it's ridiculous. But the biggest problem, in my opinion, is just how ridiculous the entire trial is. And the fact that they can do this to him, they can do it to anybody. They're doing it to a lot of other people.
No kidding. And this trial is supposed to go on for, this is what my mom was ranting about all morning. This trial is supposedly going to go on for over 6 weeks. And the judge of the trial said that if Donald Trump is not at the trial every single day, that he's going to arrest Trump and put him in jail and make him a pedestal, you know, his version of the golden calf. I don't freaking know. And my mom was also saying that's sucky for Trump, because Barron is supposedly going to graduate. Well, not supposedly. He is going to graduate next month in May. And Donald Trump is like, you know, hey, I'm trying to be a good dad. I want to be there for my kid. And what were you saying, Barry? Like, pull up. Let's just do it. Put the feet to the fire and see if this judge actually.
Yeah, no, I was saying earlier.
Calls him on his bluff.
I was saying, call it the bluff. Just say, you know what? Fine. Put me in jail. I'll go to my son's graduation. I don't care. I won't be here that day. It's not, in my opinion, I don't know much about the trial and how those things, but my understanding about court systems is the defendant doesn't really do anything unless they're called to witness and testify. He just sits there. He doesn't do anything. There's no reason for him to really be there, especially currently right now, like during the voir dire. I don't know why he's even there.
When they're picking jurors and whatnot.
Which is another thing, too. They went through
fest.
96 jurors yesterday and didn't
I wouldn't want to be a
one.
juror on this trial. Well, actually, I actually would. So maybe I could get true justice.
Well, you understand what voir dire does, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Mock trial.
I'm saying the point is to pick, see if you don't have biases
trial.
or whatnot, but there's not one person in this country that can have biases, especially in New York.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't be a juror, because
I don't think anybody possibly can.
Okay, but that just proves once again that our justice system is flawed and corrupt and broken. And do we actually get true justice? I don't really know.
Well,
all I gotta say is, why can't this trial or any of these other Trump trials be as entertaining, as comical as like the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial? That trial just turned like, I think 3 years old. I believe it was either 2 or 3 years old.
I think it's 2.
2 years?
3 is kind of a long one. It could be. I don't know.
Pretty sure.
The last 3 or 4 years have been really crazy.
I know, but apparently it just turned either 2 or 3 years old, like 2 days ago. And they basically were playing all the reels of it on TikTok and like all the compilation videos. My dog got stung by a bee. Like, seriously. Why can't this Trump trial be as relevant and pop culture as that? But instead, they just keep taking him to trial for all this bullshit stuff.
Well, again, the thing,
and I'm just bored.
Well, the thing about this trial too is it's always been a misdemeanor to do this, to do what he allegedly apparently did.
Yeah, they're trying to make him
but now they turned it into a federal problem and be actually a felony, which is insane because, again, they're only doing it because it's Donald Trump. They're only doing it to mess with the election. The fact that he can't go and campaign.
No, Barry.
Now, this is what I was trying to tell your mom earlier, was about the whole situation with the campaigning thing. I don't think Trump needs to campaign at all, period. Everybody's going to vote for who they're going to vote for.
Election?
Why? What does he need to campaign for? If he goes to a rally where thousands of people come to his rally, which they do every single time, and he talks for 3 hours, but what are they going to do? All those people are already going to vote for Trump.
Voting for Trump.
So what is the point of a rally?
I don't know. Camaraderie? Some form of like care in the giant national election that you're in? I mean, well, here's a good question. Who do you think he's going to pick to be his VP? A woman? A person of color?
It's going to be
white old dude?
Byron Daniels or Vivek. And I really, 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 really hope he picks Vivek.
Oh, same.
I want Vivek in there. I want Vivek in there for the next 16 years. Well, not 16 years. It'd be 12 years. I want him in there for the next 4 as vice president. And then I want him to be president for the next 2. That's what I want. But I don't think he's going to choose Vivek. Could you please not do that? I hate you. If anybody couldn't hear that, she was slurping. I think you could hear that, but I don't know. But anyway, his VP, I think it might be Byron Daniels because.
Boo.
Why? Byron Daniels actually he's a good guy. It's just, he is, in my opinion, I think it's hard to tell. He could be doing it because he's black.
See, this is where people get bored on political like talk shows, because literally during election years, during election years, it's the same freaking stuff again. Like, I can already tell you guys right now. So at some point in this, we're going to talk about Joe Biden being an idiot and falling asleep and stuttering over his words over again, because it's the same stuff happening every day. Like, when's something interesting going to happen in politics that hasn't happened before? Then again, the Bible does say that all the evil under the earth, you know, has been happening since a tale as old as time. So, like, there is nothing new under the sun. But, like, oh, there it is. Joe Biden falling asleep as he's talking to, who is that?
I don't know. This was yesterday. He was literally, I'm pretty sure they're in the Oval Office, and he literally is falling asleep while having a press conference talking, while this guy's literally talking.
See, I say that, and you just instantly pull up. It's because it happens every day. It's so
insane. This is our president, who was apparently,
it's like beating a dead horse.
Apparently getting us involved in World War III.
Oh, by the way, anybody who paid taxes like 2 days ago on tax day and yesterday, yes, and who paid taxes last year on April 15th, you guys just funded World War III. I will happily never pay taxes. The IRS, I don't freaking care. Y'all can go. Hello, Ori. You had squeaky toy in the background. Y'all just funded World War III. If that wasn't obvious enough, because for the past, how long has it been now? 4 years since all of our tax dollars, hundreds of like literal billions of dollars have been going overseas to Ukraine and to freaking Russia. I mean, are we not considering that the start of World War III? Like, I get that these nukes and missiles are the
yes
World War III,
It could
but
be like a
like
proxy.
that's been going on for a hot minute now. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I mean
that's like over hundreds of billions of dollars going to.
Yeah, but this is the issue though too, is that this problem with Iran and Israel is it's been festering for decades. Like
that's funny.
Before you were born, actually, I think it was before I was born. And so, I mean, it's not like this random thing happened to where. So, okay, let's talk about that. Actually, let's just go into that topic of World War III thing. Is
it here? Is it on our doorstep? Because okay, let's go back biblically though for a second, Barry. In Revelations, I know this the amount of times we've had to say, you know, back in Revelations when it said this, and now we're seeing it out. Yeah, that's happening way too often. But anyway, in Revelations, it talks about, you know, how Israel will be, you know, attacked from all sides. This now technically does make it all sides. But then again, like you said, they've been at war with everybody since before you were an idea.
Correct. Yeah. Well, again, Israel didn't exist until 52.
Yeah, but
so
Jews, Israelites, that's what some of them argue, that they've been there. Are you trying to get the dog to play with the squeaky toy?
You playing with it? You can talk. Nah, it's okay.
She just wants to play with the squeaky toy.
If there's a squeak,
okay.
If you can hear a squeak, anybody, it's just my dog playing with a toy while she's trying to.
It's a corgi ripping apart a stuffed monkey. The point is, though, Israel, honestly, okay, is Israel just like the kid in middle school that just gets freaking bullied by everyone, and then all of a sudden, like one summer, he comes back jacked, and he's like, try me again, losers.
Well, hasn't it been that way ever since the beginning of time? The beginning of recorded history, according to the Bible. They've always been like the redheaded stepchild who gets slapped around, and they come back, and then I mean,
but do they come back? And is this going to be the comeback where like they're jacked now, and it looks like they just got like Terry Crews level like steroids, and they're finally like.
Well, again, that's what the Jews are waiting for. Remember, they're waiting for their Messiah. No, well, they're not waiting for Jesus. They're waiting for the actual Messiah who's going to be like King David and take back everything and basically bring them back to the time of that great time.
I feel like this is the plot to like a really bad horror movie, like the skinny, like you said, the redhead kid that gets smacked around. He like makes a deal with a demon, and that demon's like taking vengeance on all. It's that anime Jujutsu with Gojo.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's literally the plot of that anime. I'm a genius.
I don't know what that is.
Basically, it's an anime where basically all the curses in the world like are actual like ghosts and abnormalities, and this guy has like one of the strongest curses, and basically the premise of it is that anytime somebody does anything to this kid, this curse comes out of him and basically like kills them. Sorry.
Interesting.
Plot.
How does that have to do with Israel being?
I'm just saying Israel's kind of waiting for somebody to come and be like, justice, vengeance.
Well, that's what they're doing. That's what the Messiah. That's what their Messiah is coming from. Like,
I was just trying to make a correlation to anime.
Jesus didn't do that. Well, I'm just saying. Okay, I understand, but I'm just saying that's what Jesus is. But that's what they're waiting for, and so. But
I'm not very good at the anime thing, so if I can make a reference to anime, I'm proud of myself. Thank you. And it's Jujutsu Kaisen? The Japanese Magna series.
So back to the thing. So over the weekend, I think it was last week, Israel attacked an Iranian leader in like the embassy.
Terrorist.
Well, he was working with Hezbollah apparently.
A terrorist?
Yes, he was he wasn't a
terrorist.
I guess technically, yeah, he kind of maybe he was.
We need to go back to the definition of a terrorist, Barry. They like rape and murder and stone people.
I don't think that's the definition of a terrorist, but
oh my gosh,
let me pull it up.
A terrible, awful, evil person. What call somebody who, like, on their Twitter tweets about how they're gonna rape and stone women in the streets?
A radical?
I call them damned to hell, but you know,
Okay.
whatever helps you sleep at
Look
night.
at this. A person, group, organization that uses violent action, threat of violent action. I'm sure for political goals. That's the main thing too, is political
Okay,
goals.
isn't that what
anybody can
Hezbollah
use
is?
violent action doesn't make them a terrorist. It's for
That's what
political and
Hezbollah
religious
is.
goals. I agree, but my point is,
We're arguing semantics.
my point is, anyway, back to the thing. Israel apparently killed a leader of Iran, and Iran attacked over the weekend with hundreds of drones that traveled 600 miles, with bombs on them, and basically tried to attack across the border in Israel. And so
I am failing to see how I'm supposed to feel bad.
What do you mean? Well, I'm saying no. This is just.
Am I supposed to feel sad that Israel attacked, or honestly went after, got justice, vengeance on an organization that just does evil?
Well, again, I'm not saying who's right or wrong. I don't really care.
That's like being mad at the Allied powers for like going after the Nazis for putting people in gas chambers.
I think it doesn't matter. The thing is, Israel is there. It doesn't.
Doesn't end justify a means?
No, I don't think the end justifies a means.
Well, in that case, then Israel would be wrong.
What do you mean? They're technically being attacked.
Okay, well, I just asked, does an end justify the means? And you just said no.
I don't believe so.
So their ends was to, you know, like stop all the terrible things, but their means to get there was to kind of do a terrible thing. Because, I mean, I think we can all agree launching missiles. Well,
Orion, come here.
I think we could all agree, though, that missiles are kind of like a scary big boom boom thing, right? Well, that could be considered a bad thing.
Israel is literally under constant missile barrage pretty much every day for years.
Yeah.
By Hezbollah, or by Gaza and stuff like that. But I'm saying, like, anyway, so, and they're funded usually by Israel. But anyway, Iran. So the theory is that Iran didn't actually do this.
Did it provoke them?
They're trying not to.
Is that what you're trying to
I mean, I guess 99% of all like the drones basically were destroyed by the Iron Dome and all their defense system. So nobody actually got hurt by these missiles or these drones. But the problem is a lot of these moronic, in my opinion, Hamas sympathizers, Iran sympathizers. Actually, we'll go into that right now.
I fail to see why I'm supposed to be like.
Well, it's not
like,
it's not you're supposed to do something. It's more of what's going on. Like,
I'll send them a gold star. Thank you.
Well, again, the fear is that this is going to start World War III because Iran is not a allied country, and we've been kind of like in a Cold War for years with Iran.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
See, this is why I kind of think I can never be a politician, because I would just straight up go up in there with just black and white, here's right, here's wrong, point blank, period. And then when you really start, like, you know, boiling all this down, it's like, well, they kind of do this, and like, this is how this works. And like, then there's like this gray area, but then inside the gray area, there's like this black and white divide. When did we get so like lost in like all of the semantics of war and politics? Like, I feel like there was a simpler time. Okay, let's just take the Hessians and the American troops back during the Revolutionary War, and that, you know, that cold Christmas where they decided to all take a break just for a little while, just to celebrate Christmas, and then they went back to, you know, trying to kill each other afterwards. Like, it just doesn't feel like we have that anymore, because they both were fighting for what they believed in, but at the time, what one country believed in, aka us, we just wanted freedom and to be like left alone. And then like the Hessians were employed by the British military to fight their battle for them, because the Navy for the British were like, no, y'all, we kind of still want your taxes. So like, you can't be a rebellious child and like run away. Now it's straight up like, all right, let's see how close to genocide and like mass mutilation that we can get to before like we cross some political line. Like, how many women and children can like you rape before like someone gets pissed off? Like, do you see what I'm saying right now?
No.
Ugh.
I'm kind of lost.
My point was,
what does it have to do with the World War III potential?
That it's way too freaking complicated, and you would think that the right answer would be a very clear thing to do. My point is that back in like, let's just say the 1700s for argument's sake, it was a pretty clear thing what we fought for. And there were little variations in it, but it wasn't like this side is trying to protect all the good things in the world and this side is trying to like kill and murder everyone and take over. Now it's like over there you have terrorists who literally are talking about how they want to kill all the infidels.
But see, I think you're just boiling it way down to simplified. Is you have to remember the Germans believed they were doing right.
Why can't we simplify? Why can't we boil it down? Why? See, that's my point. Why have we overcomplicated war so much? Usually the side that's talking about raping and stoning women in the streets, they're not the good guys. Since when have we grayed area all of it?
Right? Would you not concede that?
Okay, they can believe that, but then why is it controversial for me to talk to a liberal about saying, hey, even though we disagree on taxes and inflation and how you should be on Twitter, could we at least both agree that that dude over there is crazy? And we can't even do that. That's my point.
Okay.
We can't do that. Like in the Revolutionary War and even quite frankly in the Civil War, there were still lots of common ground that people had. Now it's just straight up, all right, I don't care if you and I are both the same species and we're both humanity. We can't agree on this. Like, do you see why this is frustrating?
No, I understand.
Frustrating me right now.
I think my biggest frustration about this whole situation is why are we even involved? Why are we trying to involve ourselves in this?
This is our favorite thing to do.
Well, I know the real answer to that. I know it's a lot more nefarious and a lot more deeper, but I just don't.
I don't even believe that America.
I don't understand.
We ever actually wanted to get into a war. I think every single time was just straight up money laundering at this point. Like,
well, it's the military industrial complex is what it is.
Money laundering, stealing my money.
It's how they
I don't
make
want to
money.
give you taxes, okay? They can say that it was for fighting for humanity or freedom or whatever. Because you know what? That's what gets guys to enlist. But deep down inside, I don't think it was that freaking ever. And now, hearing myself say that out loud, did we actually care that Jews were getting gassed in Germany? Or did we just want to get involved and just spend all that freaking money and have more people die? I don't know.
Dude, I don't know.
I'm questioning it. You know what? I'm going down that rabbit hole.
You need to
did
clarify
our government
that,
actually care?
Hold on. We need to clarify that.
I'm asking, did our government at the time actually care?
Because what you just said is we, as in like human beings.
I'm talking about America.
Stop for a second. Listen. The way that's going to come off to people is that you're going to say that we as in humans.
I'm trying to explain that. Did our government, the United States government, actually care that people were getting gassed in Germany and there were a lot of travesties against humanity happening? Or did they just want an excuse to get involved and spend more money and take more taxes? Because, I mean, the average American citizen, like the average 20-year-old in World War II was like, hell yeah, I'm going to go fight for them and I'm going to go win and I'm going to come back victorious under the stars and stripes. That totally makes sense. That checks out for guys in the 20s and in the 40s. Perfect sense. But those politicians, man, those people in DC, and then after all these documents got released, what was that, a year and a half, 2 years ago now? I don't actually think that they cared.
Well, yeah.
I'm like having a brain revelation over here.
Yeah, no, I mean, I understand. I hear you. There's definitely a possibility of that. I mean, that they only cared about actually fixing the economy.
Because
there was a couple years after the Great
Depression. It technically got us out of the Depression.
Correct. Yeah.
Whoa.
So
that's a weird thought to think about. Okay, here's a question. If the Great Depression hadn't have happened, would America actually have intervened in that and tried to, whatever they want to say it was, fighting for humanity, doing the right thing? Would they have done that? Because I'm starting to think now that they wouldn't.
Well, my understanding is most people were against the war completely in World War II.
I would argue that more for Vietnam.
No, as in people. No,
why were we there?
I think
why were we there?
Again,
no.
Again, I think for the most part, almost everybody's always against the wars, and that's why our Americans have been, not our government, Americans. That's why we didn't go to war until we were actually attacked, and that's why they allowed Pearl Harbor to happen, because since we were attacked on soil.
That's another argument, Barry. They knew about that.
I know.
They knew that the Japs were coming to. Yeah, we have briefly. we knew that the Japanese were coming to
and
Hawaii.
we allowed it to happen so that
and they let it happen.
But again, that's a whole other
That
topic.
just proves my point.
Well, that's a whole topic. We had to go to war, in my opinion, at the same time. We had to stop what was going on. That was a precursor. And again, I don't think the ends justifies the means there, but it's just one of those things that we can't really change. But let's move on to this stuff that I want to talk about here, which is we're just going around in circles. All these protesters all over the country are pro-Hamas protesters. So here's one.
You don't understand. You think I care? You're in the road.
This is the Golden Gate Bridge, by the way. One of the busiest bridges in all of San Francisco, next to the Bay Bridge, probably. That's Bay Bridge. But so they're blocking all of Broadway, and there's cops.
When's the cruise ship gonna hit and like destroy that bridge? Is my question.
I'm not shoving anybody. I'm getting down the fucking road.
But there's cops, I'm pretty sure, that are here. Either this one or another one.
Oh my god.
But this isn't the only one. This is one of several. There's many different places of it happening. To where they're just blocking. Here's another picture. I don't remember where this is. Oh, this is the Golden Gate Bridge.
You're making the comparison of those people who are blocking all these bridges, obstructing traffic, attacking cars. Right. They don't go to prison, but then go back to that one picture. But then those elderly people in the wheelchair who are literally just sitting in the abortion clinic's entrance, they're getting sentenced to jail.
This is what they're doing.
They're singing
This is an
hymns.
abortion clinic. I think it was over like a year ago. They're singing hymns. The audacity.
How dare they?
Of an abortion clinic where someone's going to go in and literally kill an unborn child.
Barry, this is what I'm trying to say when I said that we can't even agree on anything of that. Oh my gosh. We cannot agree on right versus wrong. That's objectively obvious because you have these morons who are supporting Hamas, which, like we defined earlier, are terrorists.
Correct.
Because they rape and kill people and behead women and then parade their mutilated, sexually abused corpses without a head around on the streets, and it goes on Twitter, and that's not against community guidelines for some sick reason. But then the random little elderly old woman and that little, like, what did that kid look like? A 12-year-old boy singing like Christ be our King hymns from like the 1700s outside of an abortion clinic. That is evil.
Well, the problem is these people are facing up. They've been convicted. I think 6 of them got convicted of actually, like, I don't remember what the exact charge is. It doesn't matter. But their sentences, I think, in June, to face up to 10.5 years in prison and a $250,000 fine for doing nothing than this, sitting in front of a door. But yet all these people across the country who are actually
like attacking cars in the street,
blocking roads, where stopping the impediment of traffic.
It's not even just that they're blocking the road; they're attacking the cars that try to get by.
Well, okay, so this is what I want to show you too. Actually, this is. Your mom talked about this earlier. It was this is Florida. This is what we should do everywhere. They're basically taking them off.
say just make them speed bumps.
Well, come on now.
Okay, no, because this happened back in 2022.
Well, this is the new way to protest.
I mean, 2020.
Yeah, this is the new way to protest since 2020. But this is hilarious.
Oh my gosh, lay on the floor some more.
This is what I think. In my opinion, these people can't move while they're sitting here because they're all like kind of whatever this tubed Chinese finger trap on the arm thingy together. I don't know what this is. But like, leave them there. Just leave them there. I don't even care. Like, there's like somebody that was glued themselves to like a pavement or something like that. And
I saw that.
And
that
they had
was
to
just
chomp out the whole thingy. Like,
you're spending our tax dollars well, sir.
Yeah, but just leave the guy there. In my opinion, I think that'd be hilarious. Just leave him there. Okay?
No,
he made his bed.
Leave him there, and then just start to inch the car forward, and then watch them realize that laying on the ground in front of roads is not a good idea.
They will always move too. But yeah, it's
not even just about laying on the ground though, Barry. It's about them attacking the cars. There was this one video that came out back in 2020 during all the George Floyd riots, where they were literally on the overpass. You know, like those giant overpasses that are like, you know, hundreds of feet up in the air. They were on one of those things, and there was this horse trailer, like this 3-horse living quarters horse trailer that was trying to get through. And these people had, the batons, the Molotov cocktails. They had weapons. They started to try to break into the horse trailer. This is what I mean when I say make speed bumps. If those were my horses, oh, good Lord, I would be out of there so fast. Like, forget my safety. They try to go after people's animals. I can't blame these people for wanting to get their cars out of there as soon as freaking possible. Because you don't know which one of those guys in there has a gun.
Well, there's been
and is willing to pull it.
Yeah, and there's been
That's
many
happened.
many incidences of that happening, of someone having a gun and then them shooting. The one happened here, I think it was in Austin in 2020. The guy had a rifle at low ready. I forget his name. It was like,
okay, forget even the gun.
but he ended up shooting him, and he's in prison now. But like,
good. Now, speaking of the next guy,
not
though,
a good thing. It's the passenger was in prison.
Oh, the passenger's in prison.
Yeah.
Oh, not the guy who pulled the gun?
It was a.
Why am I not surprised?
Anyway, this was in August. It was.
Okay, you want to know one that's more
2020,
recent? The guy who was the prosecutor for all the J6 people had his own little episode of road rage the other day and decided that it would be a great idea to take a knife and start stabbing the person in the car.
I didn't hear about this.
Oh, you didn't hear about this? Let's pull this up right now.
No, I believe you. I just tell me.
Pull up the video.
Tell me, what is it?
It was the J6 prosecutor. He apparently was just really freaking pissed at the car in front of him. Gets out, takes a knife, and starts trying to stab the person driving the car.
During just the traffic?
The J6 prosecutor. He's the one who's been putting away the J6 people who were let into the freaking Capitol by police officers.
Yeah, again, I believe you. I just didn't hear about this.
Road rage stabbing incident. There you go.
Patrick Douglas Scruggs.
He looks like a crazy
In
person.
Florida?
Then we pull it up. Yeah. Pull up the video. Where's the video?
I don't know. It's okay. We don't need to pull the video.
Okay, well, if anyone wants to watch it.
Well, again, so
it's a
what happened
pretty
to this
dang.
guy? He's $65 bail, $65,000 bail.
Barry, no.
But what happened? Like
nothing. Nothing is happening. And that's the crazy sick part of this.
In Florida. I'm sure
He's
something's happening.
J6 prosecutor. He is the one who's putting the January 6 people in prison.
He was so he was sentenced to 75 days in prison.
Yeah.
Followed by a year-long pretty much probation, or supervised release. And he's ordered to only pay $5,000 fine for
trying to stab somebody.
Stab another human
That was
being.
attempted murder.
But yet these people,
the J6 people
well,
who
not
didn't
even, not,
do
not
anything.
even J6, but I do agree is just as abhorrent as this. But these people at the abortion clinic are getting up to 10 to 10.5 years and $250,000 fine. That's the potential.
That's my crazy thought about all this.
And this goes back to the whole Trump thingy. Is
Trump derangement
there
syndrome.
Is our justice system is dead. It like doesn't exist anymore. What's going on? Why
is this
why are
news
we
to you?
allowing this?
I knew that. You know, Barry, I'm just waiting for the day that I get arrested and arrested, found guilty, sentenced for doing something crazy like tweeting or maybe sitting in front of an abortion clinic. And then when I go to jail, I can say I'm taking after my mother. Love you.
For anybody, Savannah's mom has been arrested for
sitting in front of an abortion clinic.
An abortion clinic.
They were sitting on the steps. My mom did the exact
same thing.
same
How long were you
thing.
arrested for?
Yeah, Mom.
Like, was it just in jail? Like an overnight thing?
How long were you arrested for?
No,
yes.
I'm just questioning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I mean, were you detained?
For anybody
Did you go
who
to
couldn't hear
prison?
that, she said that they put shackles
For how
around her
long?
hands and wrists.
Okay.
And she was in a cell
she
all
just
day.
had a day kind of like detainment, and then she was let go. I'm sure. Did you have to pay a fine or anything like that? Yes. Oh.
Oh, you had to pay a
You had to pay
fine?
a fine? Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah.
How much was that fine?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you were broke,
Anyway.
right?
Anyway, so
Broke college kid
so
in
anyway,
prison with
so-
diabetes. Sucker.
I don't know. I just feel like our entire constitution is dying. I feel like our way of justice is dying. I feel like our country is
Shocker.
gone. It's been gone for a
You
long
want to speak
time.
of something else about that has been
What's
gone?
gone?
Because I kind of had hope in Christians. Freaking not anymore, okay? So just recently, the other day, for anybody who hasn't really been paying attention to like the Christian world that's been like going on right now. Anyway, so there's this dude named Pastor Mark Driscoll. You've probably seen him since 2020 in headlines, and you've probably heard some of his speeches before. Anyway, so they had a men's conference this past week it was the Mars Hill Church Stronger Men's Conference in Springfield, Missouri. And the event was hosted by the James River Church to, quote, "It exists to inspire and equip men to live out God's vision for manhood, to be husbands, fathers, and leaders that God has called them to be." Anyway, this conference is kind of sketch, and it's been that way just for a little while, a few years now. But the opening performance, if you will, was a male stripper doing a dance on a pole swallowing swords. So, you know, totally
I don't understand.
Christ-filled spirit thing. To make a long story short, Pastor Mark Driscoll was supposed to be a guest speaker, and he basically called out Pastor John Lindell, who was the pastor of this church, that what the heck is wrong with us, y'all? This is like Jezebel spirit. Why are we having male strippers come to a men's Christian conference? This is like messed up. So play the video, or the start of it at least.
Heart is very burdened for you. And I want to be very careful with this, and it's not what I want to say. But the Jezebel spirit has already been here.
Okay, wait for it, wait for it.
The Jezebel spirit opened our event. This is a rebuke and a correction of no one. This is an observation. Before the Word of God was open, there was a platform.
Male stripper.
There was a high place.
A Las Vegas
On it was
sword stripper.
a pole, an ashtray. The same thing that's used in a strip club for women
Crazy.
who have the Jezebel spirit.
Wait for it, wait for it. Wait for Pastor Lindell to start screaming.
In front of that was a
He interrupts
man
him.
Yes.
who ripped his shirt off.
He
like
gives him a
woman
minute.
does in front of a pole at a strip club.
Pastor Lindell's about to get pissed.
That man then ascended. See, our God is not arrogant. He doesn't ascend. Our God is humble. He descends.
That's true, right?
And then he swallowed
There it
a
is.
sword. And Jesus cried, okay, Pastor John, I'll
Oh, shouting
receive
from the
that.
audience.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, he said you're done.
Okay,
Okay, so
Wait,
hold on.
let's-
I just want to. So this video here,
That
this
is-
in picture is. I'm gonna mute this. Is what opened the
men's conference.
conference.
Uh-huh.
What in the? Okay.
He rips his shirt off in front
Okay.
of all of these dudes. Like, what the heck?
Okay, that is my first question. This dude. Okay, hold on, let me.
He's a Las Vegas
He's got his
sword
shirt off
swallower stripper.
clearly. Okay.
He rips it off in
And
front
he's
of
got
everybody.
jeans on and some shoes on. Okay.
He's barefoot. I hate to break it to you.
He's at a men's conference.
Christian men's conference. Yep.
I've been to many men's conferences in my time, big, small. I don't.
It's
what?
crazy. I know.
Why
right?
don't you open with a band?
Okay.
Like a worship band, or even call in a band. Why would you have a dance performance for dudes?
So they actually they had another performance where they opened up with a monster truck the previous night.
See, that'd be okay. That's fun. That's okay. Like that's
a
something
monster,
like you think a
I'm
man would be
talking
involved
like
in.
an actual monster truck, and then the year
Yeah.
prior they had a freaking tank. And you know what?
Yeah,
To those,
that's
I would
okay.
say that.
Why a dance by a dude?
Okay, those actually two other things I would say is kind of making a mockery. Like, we're in a church. This isn't a like
I don't
metal.
know. It's a conference. It's supposed to be like an event for a weekend, right? That's usually what conferences are for.
I hate to say it. I mean, I'm not a dude, but when I think of masculine men, I don't think of a bunch of guys going to church so they can get off on seeing monster trucks and tanks so they can become, tough men, because they go in there with their loafers and their khakis and their little button-ups.
Well, that's a whole other conversation we can have about churches and how I don't like churches.
Let's just stick to the stripper part right now.
But I'm just saying, like, I'm okay with that. Trying to make it an appeal to people to come to your thing with an event, a concert, a monster truck, or whatever.
I would completely disagree.
I just don't understand why a dancing male in the first place. Second of all, he's a stripper.
A Las Vegas stripper too.
Or
and a really popular one at that. You know how much they had to pay that dude to come in there and do that?
So again, what if he was not a current stripper? What if he was a reformed stripper? What if he was a stripper and now he's believed? Do you believe that can happen? Because I honestly do believe that can happen.
Yes, absolutely.
Someone can totally
but
turn
why
away from
is
their
he
ways.
still stripping then?
Well, he's not stripping technically here. He's only got his shirt off, which again,
No, he
I
ripped
don't
his shirt off
understand.
in front of everybody.
I
When you
don't
start
understand.
removing your clothing, you're stripping.
But so Mark Driscoll
Hates it.
again.
Okay, but that's not the point. The point is that the pastor, Lindell, yells at Mark, and you didn't play the rest of the video because there was another clip at the very end where he starts to like actually like yell at him where you can physically hear it. Lindell comes up on the stage and he starts yelling at Mark, citing Matthew 18, where he says, if your brother offends you, you're supposed to go to him privately, not pull a stunt like this, Mark. Like, how dare you? This is our men's conference. This is how we do it. The point is that Lindell was condoning it. He was yelling at Pastor or at
Was
Mark.
Lindell like the what do you
He's
say?
the lead pastor
the lead
of this conference.
So yeah,
Mark was
he
a
obviously
guest.
approved it to happen.
Yeah, he was the lead guy. He organized it. Mark was a guest speaker at it, as he's been, you know, for
and
a couple
he was
years
asked to
now.
be turned off, or he was told to be turned off and turned away.
Yeah, he
For his,
starts yelling at him on the stage and says, "Go
basically-
away." And Mark instantly is like, "Yep, okay,
It
I'm
didn't
leaving."
sound like he was berating the dude. It sounded like he was just like, "What the heck is going on here?"
He literally said, "I'm not getting on to anybody. I'm just
Yeah.
making an observation."
Like, this is ridiculous. How in the world is this going on?
Yeah,
And he
you're
was
telling
calling
me.
out. But
Imagine if we, I mean, this, I actually kind of could see this happening today. Imagine if we had a women's conference and we brought in a bunch of like drag queens to strip for us.
Sure. No, I agree. It's kind of the same concept.
I kind of could see that happening, honestly. And I'm thinking it might have happened somewhere because actually just the other day for Easter, they had a drag performance in the church for Easter Sunday at a church in California. So that was interesting.
Oh, there's a
One of them was dressed as Jesus stripping.
lot
on
of
the
things
altar.
happening to be gay affirming churches and actually saying it's okay and stuff like that too is
My
happening.
mind
now.
is blown.
But
But the point is,
I find this ridiculous. Like,
Barry,
again,
if you lost faith in humanity, I have lost faith in Christian men. What is this? Okay, because this had happened the night before at that conference. Why are all of those men attending the next day?
that's my point. That's my point. I understand the monster truck. I'm not saying what I meant by is I'm not condoning the I'm on the same level with you about the whole like trying to like get people in there and all stuff and have a monster truck thing. I understand that, but I'm saying I'm okay with
No,
that.
I'm not saying anything
happening
about the
compared
monster
to
truck.
this.
I'm saying the stripper. Why
That's
did
what I'm
it?
saying. I'm
The
saying
stripper
compared to
happened the
this.
day before. All of those men watched the stripper the day
know.
before.
Why in the
and
world do they keep
came
going?
back.
That's what I don't understand.
If I saw that happening in any church, anywhere, even if I was on the front freaking row, I am collecting my things and I'm walking out right then and right there. In fact, I think there have been a few random occasions where I have walked out because I'm like, okay, what's going on? I feel a spirit here, but it's not the Holy Spirit. What is happening? And you
Well,
know,
let's
quite
see.
honestly, Pastor Lindell, he was yelling about, Matthew 18, if your brother trespasses against you, you're supposed to go to him privately. That verse, that chapter is talking about resolving matters between one and one privately. I hate to break it to Pastor Lindell though, but when Jesus went into the tabernacle, it went into the temple and he saw that people had turned it into a marketplace, Jesus didn't go to like the Pharisee privately and be like, hey, excuse me, yeah, this is a church. You guys shouldn't be really selling offerings like this in here. No, he started taking whips and he started knocking shit over and flipping tables and, doves were flying everywhere. Goats were probably freaking out. Like Jesus was like going like full beast mode, flipping things, knocking things over. He did not do that quietly at all. That is why Jesus is the ultimate savage, because that bro just went straight from like, yay, to like full on everybody. And quite frankly,
I don't know.
Pastor Mark didn't do it like even a fraction of what I'm pretty sure Jesus would have done, to be honest.
I don't know. Well, here's a rebuttal. I guess.
Oh,
I don't know. I haven't
this
seen
video
other.
is apparently like the day. See, and this is part of the reason why I might have just lost respect for both of these dudes. I obviously have lost respect for Lindell because he brought a stripper into a church.
All right.
But-
Well, what is he? Is he? Okay. Let's just see what it says. 'Cause
Yeah,
I,
just
don't-
play
I
it.
haven't played this. I've heard of this.
Mark and Grace have been friends through the years. When there was trouble at Mars Hill, Debbie
Is
and I
this
sat
the
on the
pastor
couch
Lindell?
in our family room and wept.
And you guys have been some of the greatest friends to me and my family through the hardest seasons of our life. And I Thank you for being
Basically, the premise of this video is they're resolving the stripper conflict between the two of them in front of everybody.
As we were sitting over there, Mark was talking.
And they kind of joke about it.
You want to know what John the Baptist was like?
And everyone's just kind of like cheering.
Nothing about what was said changes that. And Mark and I talked. We went outside where we could be alone and we could talk.
Oh my gosh.
And we reaffirmed our friendship.
Great. But can you condemn the stripper?
Yeah.
See, they don't do that in this video, like at all.
So they just like reconcile their friendship, which is okay. That's
Basically.
fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But like they
But
don't.
none of them say, okay, yeah, I'm sorry for bringing like a gay like stripper in here and like doing sword swallowing and twerking dances on a pole in front of all these men. Yeah, that was a bad idea. My bad. They don't say that. They're just like, yeah, we could have handled that differently.
That makes me lose a little bit of respect for Mark Driscoll.
I know. I'm pretty sure he was just trying to be.
I like Mark Driscoll a lot, actually.
Me too.
He's a
I
very,
did.
very good speaker. He's very, very talented. He's had a lot of problems in the past, like
As we all do.
like
Let's
issues.
be honest, though.
I think he got divorced, but I don't remember. It was like in the 10s. But like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
but basically,
he should have stuck to his guns.
I would have been like, unless I see some serious change,
Yeah.
you're going to be like the Church of Corinthians. You're just going to start getting like some letters, okay? You're going to get some very, very salty letters, okay?
I don't know.
Anyway,
that's
the point is,
insane.
I lost faith in Christian, quote unquote, men. Because here's another thing I want to add. Okay, I get that, not everybody has access to like a masculine lifestyle. I kind of understand that because, we all can't, work the grind of, outside hard manual labor and whatnot and like get all that testosterone and whatnot. But is this really the only masculine outlet some men have is going to a conference where they have just like a monster truck and a male stripper, and that's apparently what makes manly men? Like, if you really want to go learn
You've
about
been to a women's conference before, correct? Like
yeah,
you know what
and
the
I freaking
conferences are
hated it.
for. You know what conferences are for.
I hated
It's basically like networking and like getting to know, be with men and being together. I'm indifferent about them
Barry,
personally.
you want to learn about being a real man and get some testosterone and learn about being a real godly man? Go work on a dude ranch for a week and go get some calluses on your hands and let's go do a hard days of work instead of sitting in a nice, air-conditioned giant conference where you're going to watch a monster truck and a male stripper with your little loafers and your khakis and your Bible that hasn't been opened in probably a week and the spine has never been cracked. That's not... Okay, I'm not a dude, so if any dudes out there are offended, I'm not sorry, but why is this
I'm not.
the definition of like literally in the beginning of this, it says,
on there, though, by the way.
I'm pushing what?
You're pushing that this is the definition. I don't think that's true.
Okay, I'm quoting at the very freaking beginning when he says that this conference exists to inspire and equip men to live out God's vision for manhood to be husbands and fathers and leaders.
Correct.
This is supposed to be helping men become masculine to be leaders. What the heck was that? Because I gotta tell you, I freaking hate women's conferences because they're all floral and very like, Mom, what's that? Beth Ann, whatever her name, Beth Moore. Like, I freaking hate it so much. Give me like a JL conference where we learn about like jamming tent spikes into people's heads and how to be like warriors for Christ. I want that. I don't freaking want all this fluffy butterfly crap.
Too. Like, you are different than other
Maybe more people should be like me than Barry because we have way too many weak pansies in the world that don't know how to actually fight physically and spiritually because we've done shit like this.
No, I think this is the result of what we've done. I think it's the destruction of the family. I think it boils down to how we treat our society and how it's more than that. We have destroyed men in this country, and it's been planned for decades.
Yeah, well, we're destroying women now, too, because, apparently we don't know what a woman is. Yep, that makes perfect sense. I hate it, though. That is my point of all of this. I don't like it. I don't like what's going on. It gives me
the
spiritual heebie-jeebies.
So what do we do?
What do we do about women's conferences, men's conferences?
No, about all of this.
The spirituality of America?
The death of America, basically. What do we do?
Burn it.
We burn it?
Yep. I want to burn it all to the ground, okay? Because as Buster Moon from Sing once said, when you're at the bottom, the only way left to go is up. So I say burn it down the rest of the way.
My goodness.
Like right now, it's kind of like crumbling and deteriorating. And like that entire left half is like filled with termites. And then that side over there has, I'm pretty sure, like a raccoon living in the closet. So let's just burn the entire thing all the way back to the ground. Just let's help it out a little bit. Pour a little bit of gasoline and tannerite on that shit. And let's just burn it all the way down. And maybe then we can like see the foundation because we've lost sight of it. Like it's gone. Like we've put...
There is no foundation anymore.
Nope, there is. Okay? This is like my horse trailer when I first bought it. Okay? It was a piece of crap. And you know what? In order to be able to build it back up, we had to freaking rip out 6 layers of flooring. Because you know what? When things get tough, our world, or like my horse trailer, the previous owner would just put new flooring on it, hoping that everything underneath would just get avoided. That's what our country has done. We're putting a Band-Aid on a freaking bullet hole the size of your chest, okay? The only way we're gonna fix this is by ripping everything out and not pouring bleach on it, because if you put bleach on mold, you'll create like fumes that are like really deadly. So instead, let's just burn it all, rip it all out, throw it into the burn barrel, and let's just start from the bottom, just like my horse trailer.
So otherwise known as hitting rock bottom.
Yep.
That's what you...
We have to hit it.
I don't
completely.
really disagree too much.
Let's hit it so hard we get
a
concussion and then forget who we were, and then we can create a new, maybe preferably a moral country / world for us. I don't think the world is possible.
Technically, I think I hate to say it, but we almost need to. I think we do need a reset. I really do.
Okay, so are we? Wait. What type of reset?
Of saying we need to burn it down. I think what you really mean is we just need a reset.
I say burn it down.
I know you do, but you're just being you.
No, I'm saying burn it down.
And people don't understand who you are. I'm just saying.
I will start.
This is what she's saying. I'm being like a savvy whisperer right now. You are saying
burn it down.
Yeah, I understand. But what she's saying is we definitely need a reset in this country. And we need a reset of our entire government. I know you agree with me. We've talked about this before. But that's basically what she's saying in a more nicer way and not crazy, bombastic, out of control way. Yes, that is what you mean. The nicer way
is sugarcoating it. And you know what?
I'm trying to give you an out here.
Sugar-coated gospel and truth does not help with real world problems from Satan. Okay?
On the fact of our country is completely dying. Did you hear about this vote that we did on Friday?
I was not near
I know you
internet
weren't around.
Friday.
You were gone pretty much all week.
And that was a lovely weekend, by the way.
So
because I didn't have
on Friday
anything to do with politics.
Had a vote basically about the let me pull it up here. Shoot. This vote right here.
Yay!
Basically allowing FISA warrants, which FISA warrants are basically a rubber stamp that they don't need a warrant. An agency does not need a warrant to investigate you, to go into your home, to do whatever, to look at you up. So on Friday, which again, Friday is the day that they do things to try to do it under the radar, in the evening, they had a vote that ended up being in a tie of a 212 to 212 to basically this takes away the Fourth Amendment, which is your right to no lawful or no unlawful search and seizure, basically. And so
I'm hearing a lot of words, monkey man.
What do you mean? Well, I'm just explaining what it was. So this vote happened, and they had another vote yesterday on Monday to vote again. So 212 to 212. Well, they voted again.
Wow.
Okay, because they did like an emergency inquiry thing or something like that. Well, it ended up going 259 to 128, which means a lot more ended up voting for it. A lot of Republicans ended up voting for this bill to allow more FISA warrants to happen and unlawfully search and seize people's homes and investigate them, including many people like Crenshaw, who is, in my opinion, nothing but a Democrat with an eye patch.
Pirate.
A bunch of other Texas senators. I believe one near us, like in our area, is also, I think he was up in northern Dallas that he also voted for. I don't remember which one. I looked him up. But yeah, over, I think it was 117 Republicans voted in favor of spying on Americans. Again, destroying our country. This is absolutely insane.
I don't have any guns.
I don't understand how we're allowing this to happen.
I lost them all in a boating fire.
But yeah, it's
I
absolutely.
have wrenches though. Do you need one?
No, I don't need a wrench.
I have a Ruger wrench, Beretta wrench, got a Winchester wrench.
Anyway, our country's just dying.
I also have the bolts for the wrenches if you need those. But no guns. They died in a boating accident.
They all went in a boating accident.
It was a boating fire. It was really tragic, actually. We were all trying to cross the border illegally, and I was the only one who made it out alive.
Well, again, my issue with this is no one actually cares about this. No one cares.
No.
Like, I'm pretty sure I read a tweet earlier that a couple people are going to oust Mike Johnson, who was the speaker as well again, which they need to.
Shocker, snooze
I think he's
fest.
trying to do, I think he just did another $90 billion, I think, foreign aid is what he's trying to pass right now.
Oh, yay, more tax dollars.
But,
is it crazy that I don't care either?
It's kind of, I think you should care about this.
I mean, what am I going to do? Vote? I can't. They're the ones who get to vote. I don't get to vote. I just vote for or against them. And we all know that doesn't work because rigged elections are definitely a thing.
Our country completely destroyed and being gone, what's the point of representatives anymore?
I don't know. Because they just like get to take our money and then like fund their own paychecks. All I know is I'm not giving nothing up. You can just come and fight me. I'll have a Rambo moment. At least I'll get to go out the way I want. Anybody want to build a compound with me?
You clearly don't care about this. I think this is a big deal.
No, I just
I think it's a big deal that they're
it's
doing
another
this.
day, another stab at the Second Amendment. Like, what's new? Like, they just every day is like, we want your gun. Why do you need a gun? And I'm like, because you're literally trying to kill us. You have this reputation of doing this. You know, every once in a while you decide like there's too many of us and you gotta like exterminate us. And like when like vaccines and airborne viruses don't work, you gotta figure out something else. And so you like make an entire generation that's depressed. So they all want to start like mutilating their body parts and chopping their boobs or their wieners off. And then you pump them full of hormones. And then, oh, by the way, we're also going to give you guys assisted suicide because we know you're just so depressed because your gender doesn't actually cure your depression. Usually it just makes you more depressed and more mental because you're hyped up on drugs that really should not be inside your body in the first place. So then we're going to help you guys all die because we don't want you here anyway. Right, and then when there's less of you, we'll still get the same amount of taxes because we corrupted the American nuclear family to think that women need to go to work too, not because you're independent or powerful or because you're equal or better than men, but because we want your money. And a one-income household is not giving us all the tax dollars that we want to go fund our nefarious deals that we do with other foreign national countries. So instead, we're going to breed more of you. And then, by the way, we want more of you, but we also don't want your children, especially Black ones. So we're going to put abortion clinics all in these low-income communities. So you guys start like killing each other off. And then just to top it all off, just to like sprinkle a little extra stuff in there real fast, we're going to pump your neighborhoods and your cities, especially the low-income ones, full of drugs and guns and violence from criminals that came here illegally, which, by the way, we're bringing here because they are subservient to us and they will vote for what we ask for because you guys are getting a little bit too independent and thinking too much, and that just cannot happen. So we're going to replace you, but you are going to kill each other off or kill off your own offspring, all for the purpose of depopulation and destabilizing the entire country so we can radically replace you with the people that we want to manipulate into doing what we need them to do. Because even though you think that we're a republic and it's the illusion of choice and you get to pick who the representatives are, actually there's none of that. So we're just bringing these people in just for the idea of that you still think you get to vote and you get to decide what we do with all of your money and like with all the decisions that we make. But in reality, this has just been one big whole ploy funded by Bill Gates and the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and most likely the British royal family and probably a lot of other patriarchs and matriarchs and a bunch of other like crazy people that have been hiding in the shadows for far too long because we don't like you. We just like what you can give us. And right now you're not giving us enough. So the only thing left to do with you is to kill you off and then to turn your body into some form of those greens from that movie that I can't remember the name of right now. What's that movie called?
Soylent Green.
Soylent Green. I wonder if that's happening. Freaking vegans and their tofu, man.
That's probably one of the best explanations of what's happened in the last 50 to 60 years. Like, and what's going on.
Copy and paste that. Send that everywhere. That was Soylent Green. Yeah. Anyway, I think that's a good ending to all of this. That and the fact that the meat industry is actually owned by a lot of foreign nationals and people are starting to do tests on all of it. It turns out it's not the type of meat that they say it is. I wonder what else is in there. Human remains? Is that why they have a one-child policy in China?
Well, that went away.
Suspicious stuff going on. That's all I gotta say. I think we should wrap this up. We could talk conspiracy theories next time. Anyway, if you haven't already, I'm going to remind you to like and comment, hit the bell, and tell me, what is your favorite conspiracy theory about what is going to happen in our world next? Personally, I'm going to go with a nuclear fallout. I don't think that's happened on my bingo card yet, so I'm voting for that. Anyway, don't forget to follow me on social medias, on other ones at least, at Savannah Lynn or The Savvy Truth. Or if you're curious of looking at the horsey stuff, you can follow me at Triumph Horses. Tune in next time for more of the BS Podcast. Peace.